Welcome back to this explainer of the Bhagavad Gita. Today, we're really going to slow things down. We're stepping right into one of the most incredibly tense moments in history. We're looking closely at those quiet, breathless seconds just before the Great Kurukshetra War begins. We'll explore the powerful sounds and the really deep emotions that completely unfold before a single arrow even flies. So let's just take our time and really understand this.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the great battle begins, look into Duryodhana's hidden fear, hear the roar of Bhishma, see Krishna and Arjuna's response, witness the Pandavas standing united, and finally, we'll talk about the real battle within. Let's jump right in. Section 1. The great battle begins. Two mighty armies face off. Section 2. Duryodhana's hidden fear, confidence, and doubts. All right, imagine this with me. It's a beautiful sunrise. Under that morning sky, you've got thousands of warriors from both sides standing there, just staring each other down, waiting for the very first move. Duryodhana, the leader of the Kaurava army, is standing at the edge of the battlefield, carefully evaluating the forces. On one side, he sees his own Kaurava army, which is literally immeasurable in size and protected by the great-grandfather Bhishma. On the other side, the Pandava army. It's much smaller, quite limited in size, but it's protected by the mighty Bhima. Now, outwardly, Duryodhana looks absolutely confident in his overwhelming numbers. But then he issues a very specific command to his generals. He says, "Stay in your positions and protect Bhishma from every side." Now, this command reveals something absolutely crucial. Duryodhana firmly believes his victory depends entirely on this one elderly leader. He's thinking if Bhishma falls, the whole army falls. So this brings up a really deep question. Why does Duryodhana truly believe victory is his, but still harbor this hidden, creeping fear in his heart? Well, the answer lies in his unspoken fear of Bhima. Duryodhana knows, deep down, that if anyone can actually defeat him, it's Bhima. So right behind all that loud, flashy confidence, there's just quiet terror.
And this brilliantly illustrates our first major takeaway. True confidence comes from righteousness and inner peace, not just numbers or brute strength. You could have the giant army, you can sound incredibly brave, but without inner peace and a profound sense of doing what is right, true confidence is literally impossible. It's just a mask.
Which brings us to Section 3, the roar of Bhishma, inspiring the army. So Grandfather Bhishma is very, very wise. He senses the anxiety hiding right beneath Duryodhana's brave words, and he decides to do something about it. Watch how incredibly fast this unfolds. At second 1, Bhishma blows his conch shell. It's this powerful, fearless lion's roar. And by second 5, that single sound triggers a massive chain reaction. Trumpets, drums, and horns just erupt from the entire Kaurava army. By second 10, the noise is completely thunderous. The ground is literally shaking. The war is officially starting. The absolutely crucial point here is that strong leaders inspire courage. A single, confident act can motivate an entire group of people. Think about it. Bhishma didn't have to give a long, complicated speech. His single roar completely wiped away Duryodhana's fear and immediately energized thousands of warriors.
Moving on to Section 4, Krishna and Arjuna respond, the divine chariot.
Across that shaking, deafening battlefield, our attention naturally shifts to the Pandavas' side. There, we see this absolutely magnificent chariot drawn by pure white horses, and on this chariot is Lord Krishna. Here, he is referred to as Hrishikesha. In simple English, that translates to the Lord of the Senses. This simply means Krishna is the one who guides everyone from within the heart, offering crystal clear guidance to anyone who sincerely asks for it. Standing right beside him is the great warrior Arjuna, who was called Dhananjaya. Now, this translates to winner of wealth. But we aren't just talking about material money here. It's a beautiful, respectful title he earned through incredibly hard work, amazing achievements, and his endless dedication to his family.
And of course, let's not forget the mighty Bhima. He's given the name Vrikodara, which means wolf-bellied. He totally earned this because of his enormous appetite and his unmatched physical strength. Seeing all these specific names together is such a great reminder. It shows us that every single person brings highly unique, truly valuable qualities to a team.
Okay, Section 5. The Pandavas stand united, a chorus of courage. Now it's time for the heroes of the Pandava army to respond to the Kauravas. Krishna blows Panchajanya, Arjuna sounds Devadatta, Bhima blows his terrifying shell, Pandra, And very soon, King Yudhishthira, Nukula, and Sahadeva all join in. Now, these aren't just loud noises meant to scare the enemy. Not at all. These sounds represent real, divine strength. They're sending a pure echo of truth and righteousness across the whole world. This brings us to such a beautiful realization for our own lives. When we seek higher wisdom and act with real sincerity, guidance very often appears in our lives. Look at the Pandavas. They're heavily outnumbered. Their army is much smaller, but they have this deep, unwavering commitment to truth. These divine sounds teach us that when we stand united in doing what is right, we are never truly alone. And that leads us to our final part, Section 6, the real battle within, the consequences of action.
You see, all of these unfolding events are actually being narrated by a man named Sanjaya to the blind king Dhritarashtra. And as Sanjaya speaks, a much deeper tragedy is revealed. We can easily trace the steps that led straight to this war. Step 1. Greed and pride are allowed to just grow unchecked. Step 2. Injustice is tolerated for way too long. And finally, Step 3. Tragic consequences unfold right there on the battlefield. This disaster didn't happen by accident. It was a slow, step-by-step result of selfish choices over many years.
This teaches us a hard but really necessary truth. Wrong decisions might bring temporary success, but eventually every single action produces consequences. Duryodhana actually thought he was successful right now with his massive army and his great generals, but you simply cannot escape the results of greed. Those unavoidable consequences always arrive in the end.
So as we reach the end of this incredibly tense scene, the physical war is finally prepared to begin. The armies are fully ready. But we have to pause and ask ourselves, what emerges when duty and desire actually clash? Because before any sword strike, Arjuna is going to be forced into a massive, agonizing internal struggle. He has to choose between his duty to fight for justice and his deep, personal desire not to hurt his own family members on the other side. Ultimately, the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita shows us that all the loud drums and giant armies are really just the setting. The greatest battle is not fought with weapons on a physical field, but quietly, deep within the human heart. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Before you go, I want you to ask yourself, when your own internal clash between duty and desire finally arrives, which voice will you choose to listen to? I'll see you next time.